Hello and welcome to the 106th episode of Fur, Fins, and Feathers. Today we have a very special guest, Sabrina Lanz of Marlboro, Massachusetts, who has Maui, a beautiful golden retriever. Welcome. We are very honored to have you discuss pet therapy.
Thank you for having us.
Tell us about pet therapy and why it's so important.
So, there are so many different ways that dogs can help people. It starts with the ones that come immediately to mind: hospitals, hospice, schools, nursing homes. But it goes further than that, and I think science has shown and studies have proven how much of an asset they can be in places even like courtrooms or in courts when domestic abuse victims have to testify, or children. They just provide that stress relief and comfort. There are a lot of dogs working in libraries now where kids are learning to read. And the magical thing about dogs, they don't judge. Kids can learn whether they're slow to read or stumbling over words. There's just something comforting about reading to a dog, and it helps build confidence in those kids. Maui and I visit nursing homes, assisted living facilities. A lot of them specialize in memory care, and we visit a high school. And we started with nursing homes. I always knew that was something I wanted to do, and we started there. And Maui's a perfect fit for it. I call her the borderline naughty therapy dog because she can be vocal and she's really energetic. So she's not the type of therapy dog that some people think of, which I sort of describe as sort of Eeyore-like. They're so obedient and they're sweet, but they're just very still and they're very quiet. And there's a perfect need for those. Some people, that's what they need. But Maui goes in, and she just prances down a hallway, and the tail never stops wagging. And she brings an energy with her that just breathes life into the place. And the residents laugh, and it gets them active. It actually gets some people moving. She has certainly had the effect where there are people who are nonverbal, and they will suddenly start talking to her. And I mean, there's nothing sort of more powerful than seeing that happen. And when it does, the staff and I all react to that. That doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's powerful. And the school, I actually didn't start with schools and didn't necessarily think I wanted to. She was such a great fit in nursing homes, and I knew we were doing good there. And I thought, kids don't need her as much. A lot of them have dogs at home. It's not the center of their week the way it is when Maui and I go to a nursing home. But we started because there was a need. There weren't enough dogs visiting, and I knew a friend who'd been at that school. So we took a chance and we went, and I have to say, when I leave there, my face hurts from smiling for an hour and a half straight. To see these kids with her, they get on the floor with her, they roll around with her, they will come running from, we just stay in the main lobby, and the kids rotate through lunches and come visit. And when they see her, kids drop backpacks and just run. There are kids with special needs, and she gravitates the most towards them. She's developed a pretty special bond with a couple of kids there. And everybody loves to see that. Even watching that helps everybody else because you just see,
I bet
you
the
see
staff
the love.
love her too.
The staff love watching her with the kids. And the staff, sometimes the staff are having a tough day. And they just say, we need some Maui love. And the staff in the nursing homes feel the same way.
So how can people get interested if they have a dog?
So it comes from just a desire to help people. That's where it starts, with a person who wants to do a little good in the world, and a dog who has a natural inclination to want to say hi to people and want to visit with people. I think the general theory is therapy dogs are born, they aren't made. You need a dog who's got a natural temperament for it. If it's a young dog or just a dog who hasn't been trained with the obedience, that can be trained. You can go to classes for that. But if you've got a dog who naturally just says, I want to say hi to you, Maui, you go say hi.
Hi, Maui.
She
How are
doesn't-
you today?
There are some dogs who aren't a natural fit for it. They don't want, I could have a dog here and I say, go say hi. And they're like, I don't want to say hi to him, I'm yours. But if you've got this kind of dog, and you know it if you do, and I'm not saying it's a dog that just jumps all over everybody, that's rambunctious, but just wants to visit with people, then you've got a dog that might have the right temperament for it. And if that's the case, then you can go online and talk to friends and find out where there's a therapy dog training class, because there is a certain amount of therapy dog prep. It's not just the same as basic obedience. I mean, sit and down and having a dog that walks nicely on leash are important, but you do learn different skills. Here, come here, turn around, come here. You get exposed to things like wheelchairs and walkers and crutches, children and adults, all shapes, sizes. You get instructors who put hats on and big coats and distractions, those sort of mechanical toys moving around on the floor. I mean, they have to be able to work through a lot of different scenarios. If you've got a young dog at home and you think it's something you'd like to do, my advice is that you start exposing your dog to those things at the youngest age possible. When she was a puppy, I just took her everywhere so that she would meet all different types of people. There are so many more stores you can take dogs into now, and those are a great place. You can go to a Bass Pro Shop and practice going on an elevator. You didn't used to be able to do things like that, but if you think you might want to work.
I have friends that have Skye Terriers in Pennsylvania, and they take their dogs, Skies, out. If they're not at a dog show, they take them out on weekends to different ice cream parlors and everything.
Absolutely. The more the better, and practice sitting politely for petting. You don't want your dog jumping up, but from a young age, you can just train them. Sit politely for petting, and once you have that, all the other advanced stuff can be taught. But that natural temperament, if you've got it and you've got time and you're willing to make the time to share that, there's so many ways you can do some good with your dog.
How many times a week do you take her out?
We visit 4 times a week. We go to 3 assisted living facilities and a high school every week.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you're very busy.
Yeah, it's the highlight of my week. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Therapy work helps really not only the people that you're visiting, but I mean, if I'm having a bad day, the best thing I can do is go visit, and it turns my day around just watching her work with everybody. So it's a win-win. I mean, people thank me for doing it, but really I thank
bet
them.
you have many, many wonderful stories to share.
She's done some pretty amazing things. I mean, she was certified at 13 months old. Here, come here, turn around. Can you turn around? Sit. Which is about as young. I mean, they can't take the test until they're a year old. And we were in a class getting ready for it, and she turned 1, and 3 weeks later, I think, or 4 weeks later, was the actual therapy dog exam, where a certified evaluator comes in and you go through the formal test. And she passed with flying colors, and actually I'll never forget the evaluator's exact words to me were, "The world is your oyster with this dog." And
Wow. Can't get better than that.
no, and I mean, she's somebody who's been, and her family had been in dogs for years, and she knows her stuff. So when she said that, it stuck with me. And actually, when we did our 250th visit, and she became the first golden retriever in American Kennel Club history, registered golden, to have 250 visits, which is a therapy dog excellent title for those of us who keep track of those things. And she also does agility, and she has a agility championship. she's the first to have both. And I actually tracked down the evaluator to say, you told me the world was my oyster with this dog, and here's what she's done. And she said, I'm not surprised at all. Congratulations. I knew she was special. And so, within the first couple of months, we started in a nursing home, and she was a perfect fit there. Some college friends of mine were filming a movie locally in Midwest, Metro West Massachusetts, and I stopped by the set one day with her, just kind of on a lark, and the crew fell in love with her, and they said, can you bring her every day? And the next thing I knew, we had a pass, and we were visiting a movie set every day just so the crew could, after working long hours, just come and hug her, roll around, and, the craft services would put out hot dogs in a water bowl for her. So, there's certainly some fun things you can do that, other than, sort of the more serious side of therapy work. And they help in so many ways.
No matter what the breed is.
Any breed.
Any breed.
Any breed. It's not breed specific. There are certainly breeds that everybody thinks of as more typical, but it's not exclusive to any breed. Mixed breeds are fine. Rescue dogs are fine. You can have an old dog and have never done it in your whole life and still have a dog that's appropriate for it. The same night that Maui passed her therapy dog evaluation test, my 9-year-old Australian Shepherd passed it. I had always wanted to do it with him, but life got in the way, as life sometimes does. But I worked with him while I was training her, took them both in, and they both passed that night. And he was not as natural a fit because he had a fear of certain floor surfaces that made it harder for him, and he wasn't as good on elevators, but he had the temperament that they need. He loved everybody. And so although she works and visits every week, I would bring him on the holidays. And it was just an extra visit. I just make 2 trips to the nursing homes each week. And he had different strengths. He liked to sing. So when the Christmas carols were playing, he would howl along, and everybody thought that was the best. And he gave kisses, and they loved that. So you don't give up on your old dog if it's something you want to do. There's no reason you can't. If you've got a puppy, start training them young, and figure out what you think might be a good fit. Maui's not a good fit for a library dog. She's sitting here right now, and she's being very calm and sitting still, but she probably wouldn't want to do this for an hour or an hour and a half while kids read to her. She would rather be moving around and going from person to person to person, and she needs something a little bit more exciting. Now that may change as she gets older. It may not, but some dogs, if they're super calm but they love people, they can be a library dog. They just lay there and kids read to them and pet them, and everybody feels good.
How does Maui do with dock diving?
People who see Maui dock diving would never believe she's a therapy dog because she is at the end of her leash like a pterodactyl screaming her head off. She loves dock diving. She loves all water. We spend a fair amount of our off time at the beach. That's how I pay her back. For all the good she does in the world, I try and give her as much time on the beach as possible. But she loves dock diving, loves water. She loves agility. We also do competitive obedience. We've done rally. So she's a pretty well-rounded girl.
The Golden is a very versatile breed.
Yes, that is true. They are. And I think she's the perfect ambassador for the breed because she is exactly that. She is as versatile. She's got an off switch. She's happy to sleep at my feet. She sleeps on the bed with me at night. But when I ask her to turn it on and do agility or dock diving or even just go for hikes on the beach, she's game for any adventure. We just got back from Westminster where we competed at the Masters Agility Championship.
Talk about that.
That's like Christmas for those of us in the dog world. I mean, it comes once a year. You look forward to it for months, and then, you're sad the day it's over that it's a whole year away. It was at a new home this year at the U.S. Open Tennis Center in Flushing Meadows in Queens, New York. We actually, we got down there on Friday, and I took her to a Greek restaurant in Astoria, Queens.
I saw that photo.
Where we went when she was 4 months old. I took her there. I wanted a dog who was comfortable in the city should I ever be lucky enough to compete at Westminster. And so I took her to New York City a few times as a baby. And here we are almost 8 years later. And I took her back to the same restaurant. And it was just, there's something really special about everything coming full circle. I mean, it was our 4th time at Westminster, but the first time at that location. So we were close to this restaurant. And
how did she do?
She did great. We had a bobble in each of our runs, but she still managed to have the 4th fastest time in her class in standard. So she was moving. She loved it. And honestly, more than anything else, she was happy to see the crowds who were back and bigger than ever at this new location. I mean, the runs, you're in the ring less than a minute for 2 runs, and then you've got another 10, 12 hours on site, and she spent pretty much all of it visiting people. She met hundreds of people that day. She was a little pissed she wasn't there for dock diving. We couldn't get too close to the water. She had something to say about that. But, people just gravitate to her. She's got this permanent smile. The tail's always wagging.
Hey, Maui.
And I don't have to worry with her. And people look at her and they wonder, can I approach? And I say, you can pet her. Like, I see what they want. Sometimes they're afraid to ask. And I'm happy to share her with anybody. So people just pet her all day. And that's one of the highlights of Westminster for me, because she's just the perfect ambassador for what a dog can do and how it can change your life and change other people's lives.
So you had fun over the weekend.
We had just a little bit of fun. Yeah, look at the smile. There's nothing like Westminster. You know what they say, Westminster, there's only one, and it's true. So, you good girl. Did you have fun at Westminster? Yeah. Look at that smile. She says, I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds good, and maybe I'll get a cookie. You want a cookie? You want to do a trick? Want to do some tricks? She's pretty good at tricks, too. And residents and the kids love when we do tricks. Come here, sit. Sit pretty and wave. Good girl. And I dress her up for the holidays. So she's always got Halloween costumes. But she also gets dressed up for Christmas and Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. And she doesn't mind any of them. I mean, she will roam the halls of the nursing homes with, tutus, little outfits. Absolutely. She'll indulge me. And she gets treats. She gets special treats after we go visit. I mean, in the summer, there's a local ice cream place on the way home from the nursing home. And we stop and we get a little dish of vanilla soft serve. And in the winter, when the ice cream store isn't there, we go to McDonald's and we get cheeseburgers. So she does this for me. I figure the least I can do is reward her with something a little extra.
Does she like cheeseburgers?
Who doesn't like cheeseburgers? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hold the onions. But she likes the pickles. Come here. Ready? Come here. Down. Down. Good. Sit. Sit pretty. Yeah. You gonna wave? Wave again? Good girl. That's it. Down. Okay. Down. Yeah. So we actually don't use food when we visit because they can become a little too fixated on the food, and there's a perfect example of that. She's a little obsessed with it, so it takes the focus away from visiting. So there's no food, and actually that's one of the other things that they will learn in training, in special training, is they have to be able to work around food without stealing it. And for us, a lot of the times when we visit, it's either lunchtime or dinner, and residents have their meals right on trays. And she goes in and, there's food everywhere. And she has to be able to leave it. And for a food-motivated golden, That can be a challenge, but she's always up to that. She's never taken food. Sometimes residents offer stuff, and I say, nope, you can't have it. And she looks at me like, you kidding, Mom? They're offering me their French fries. And I'm like, nope, can't have it. Nothing while we're working. And they, sometimes the residents think we're a little mean, but they understand the reason for it. Right? Come here. Turn around. Come here.
She is
Come here. Turn around.
classified as she is a working dog.
She sure is. She sure is. But it's a fun job. It's a fun job. Huh? Yeah. You good girl. Yeah. You got a little drool now that I had the cookies out, huh? I know. Your whiskers are glistening.
How does she do in agility?
She's a fabulous agility dog. We've been competing now. God, I don't remember when we started, but she's got 3 agility championships. We're kind of halfway to our 4th one, and we just have fun with it. I mean, the titles are super. Those are sort of the cherry on the icing on the cake, but there's really nothing like stepping to the line with your dog and just playing together. And she loves it. She loves to run fast. She loves tunnels. Anybody who's seen her run knows she's got a fondness for tunnels, whether they're part of the course or not. But we have a lot of fun together. Huh? Yeah. You're a good girl. We've been to the National Agility Championship 3 times. So Westminster 4 times and Nationals 3 times. And she's done well. She's really done well at all of the big events. Partly, I think, because she loves all the people. That's one of the things that some dogs have a tough time with at the big events. And for her, I think it brings out the best in her. She thinks everyone's there for her.
And the important thing is both of you, are having fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. And I always make sure she's having fun. Anytime it's got to be about your dog. And if there's ever a situation that she's in, I mean, once in a while there'll be somebody petting her at the nursing home, or we're in somebody's room, and she says it's time to go, and the person doesn't feel like they're done. I have to respect that she's ready to move, like, for whatever reason. Some people, she will stay with them. She'd spend all afternoon with them, and then there are some people, she's like, okay, I did it. Time to go to the next room, and I respect that with her. Sometimes I'll say, no, say goodbye, be polite. That was kind of quick. That was a little hit and run, but you've got to be respectful of your dog. I make sure that it's always fun for her.
Have you taken Maui to hospitals?
We have not visited a hospital.
Okay.
Not yet. We've done Girl Scout meetings, assisted living. Trying to think. We have not done hospitals. And not for any particular reason, except there's only so many days in the week, and with 4 visits a week, and other things to do, and 2 other dogs, and training, and work schedule.
What about your other dogs? What breeds do you have?
So I have her great niece, who is my 2-year-old golden retriever, Jamaica, who I call Jammy, and I think she is a therapy dog prospect, and I've anticipated that from the day she came home. She's got therapy dogs in her pedigree, and the temperament is 100% there. She loves everybody. So far with her, I've just worked on sit politely for petting. There's no rush to get her certified because I'm already working with Maui, and you can certify you can get them specially certified to visit with more than 1 dog at a time. It's a different certification. I don't feel the need to do that. I'm happy just visiting with her. So Jamie has the luxury of being a puppy a little bit longer. Poor Maui got put to work as a young dog. But I have no doubt Jamie will be a therapy dog someday. My other dog is a 5.5-year-old Australian Shepherd. He's a perfect example of a sweet dog who loves everybody, not a therapy dog candidate. He gets a little squirrely around kids. He's not what I call bomb-proof. He loves most people, but he doesn't have that need to go say hello to every person. He wouldn't be comfortable doing it. and there's no way I would try and make him fit that mold. Bomb-proof is probably the other word that comes to mind. You can't have a dog that has ever gone after another dog or ever curled a lip at a person. We do run into other dogs visiting. Sometimes the residents' families are there with the dog, and they can't. It's not playtime. They can't play with them, but they also can't react to them and be aggressive. So bomb-proof is probably a good word. I mean, you just need a steady Eddie in terms of temperament.
So what advice would you give to someone who might be interested in learning more about therapy dogs?
So if you're interested in learning more about it, there are chapters that are local chapters of therapy dogs in different states, different areas, and you can probably find a Facebook group or, I hate to say, a Google search, or contact some of the local training facilities that offer therapy dog classes and go talk to an instructor there. They might be able to put you in touch with people who have taken the class, who are currently working as therapy dogs. If you've got friends who do it, a lot of people do it and don't talk about it. They just do it quietly. I mean, we talk about it all the time. I like to be an ambassador for it. I think it's the best thing I do. It's the best thing we do. And everybody, if you can carve out a little time to find a way to do it, if you've got a dog that's suitable, it makes you feel like $1 million when you do it. So just ask around.
It's very rewarding.
It's unbelievably rewarding. Yeah. Yep.
And you go several times a week.
Yep. We try to go. With travel schedule, once in a while we will miss a visit, and we don't have a specific day that we have to go to any of these places. The ones that I visit are willing to be flexible with my schedule, and I have also picked places that are close to home. I think the closer to home, the easier it is to get there. And even if we only have half an hour, if we don't have an hour and a half to spend, if we have half an hour, I'm like, you know what? Let's go. Let's just go do this. It makes it easier to get there. If you've got time and your schedule allows it, and you can make a commitment of every Thursday night from 7 to 8:30 and go do the library, that works for some people. Lots of opportunities out there. More and more places are looking for therapy dogs. There are not enough therapy dogs to go around. Therapy Dog International, TDI, is who we are certified through, which is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, therapy dog organization in the United States. Good reputation, well known. I get emails constantly that facilities, schools are looking, or libraries are looking for therapy dogs. There just aren't enough of them to go around.
So there is a need for them.
There's a huge need.
Well,
Absolutely.
we're coming to a conclusion here. It's been great. We've really enjoyed having you, Sabrina,
Thank you.
and Maui, and we'd love to have you come back.
Thank you so much for having us.
This has been great. It's been very educational and very rewarding.
Good girl. Yeah, good. Thank you very much. I hope everybody out there who's got a dog, who's thinking about it, takes that next step and goes and finds a place to start the journey. It's amazing.
You. It's a great journey. Okay, well, welcome back again. Fur, Fins, and Feathers. We'll see you next time.